game, fellas. The game's the important thing today. Play football, you've got to use the flanks and you've got to play fair.
The ball is thrown up. That'll give you an indication of how wet it is. Big fellas went up. Burford it was who won it down to formal Central District player Cook. Gives it out quickly to Wintle in turn. Sutherland, Broad missed it. Getting a quick kick forward was Glushenko. And to half forward comes the ball. Good work, James Gowans. Out it goes to Hamlin, who's got the job on Burford. McGowan around the corner. And as you'd expect, just in the opening minutes, players are sorting themselves out. Viney gets a quick one over the top, running into the open goal as Roberts. He's tackled, taken to ground, and play on, says the umpire. Crashing blow failed and opened it up for Hargraves, who turns it around the corner. Well, if that had been a goal, you could have put that down, really, to Fountain, who really committed his body.
Well, both players were fantastic, David, in it. They really were, both of them. It's a 50-50 ball at best, that is. And look at that, Geister and Fountain, neither of them pulled off. And the two big fellas smashed each other, but it looks like Fountain might have come off second best, and maybe an AC joint might have just got in the wrong spot.
Maybe just winded.
Yeah, it looks like he may be holding his shoulder. We'll just keep an eye on him anyway. Let's hope he's okay.
Certainly he's got a few sore ribs there, I would have thought, out of that.
It was a fair clash, wasn't it?
That was a great commitment. That sets the scene, and a few teammates take a bit of courage out of this. That is terrific commitment.
Both players, brilliant. And then, I would have liked to have seen Hargraves finish it off, because that would have been a great quick start for the Roosters.
And during that pause, the reason the game stopped is Matthew Slade has got blood on the nose, and he comes off replaced by Aaron Bevis.
Well, just the early stages, but already we've seen a couple of physical incidents, and obviously Slade's been involved in one of those. Centrals building from the back, out wide there's Bevis, just come on the ground as Michael Parsons mentioned. Central's building, Stevens looks up forward, pretty open up there, and his target, a full forward in McCardle, the ball slapped away. Arnott, quick hands to Lockwood, tried to centre the ball, bumped as he did so, and as a result, he's turned it over. Wintle comes this side of the ground. He's got Sutherland running for him with plenty of space in front of him. Sutherland kicks down towards centre half forward. It's all Centrals there. They control the ball. Well, Hamblin gets a hand pass away. Bevis, hand pass back, and Hay clears the ball from half forward with the left leg, finds Chris Gowans on the lead, and what a surprise, he found his brother. Now on to Quinton Graham, and Graham up forward, he's got one loose sitting under the ball.
Great vision.
Was Arnott. Very good vision. Arnott takes the mark just 20 metres from goal.
Just moved that too easily then, didn't they? They had all the time, every possession was uncontested and no pressure, and you just can't allow that to happen, and too many good players for Centrals to allow that turnover.
Too many spare players, Tim.
Yes. It's a bit of a concern this early, isn't it?
Well, you had 4 players with not a North Adelaide player within 20 metres.
Just a tick over the 3-minute mark, and Simon Arnott, the former Swan and the former Geelong player, kicks the first for Central District, and they lead it by 5 points.
Well, you want a good start to a game, and this, look at the Gowans brothers just to each other, to Graham. There wasn't even a North Adelaide player in the picture then. 3-1. Good vision to the square, and Arnott all on his own, and nobody anticipated to look behind him.
Matty Slade came off for the blood rule. It was just a scratch on the outside the nose. They've put the Band-Aid on. He's ready for action.
Burford again from the right. He's won the opening tap. Arnold again opposed. Burford wins it down. Wintle, an up and under kick, a high ball. McKinnon caught underneath. This one needs to stand his ground. Did so pretty well. He had Bamford coming at him. This fellow's got plenty of experience with 3 AFL clubs. Drives one towards half forward. Up and down was Davis. I liked him a couple of years ago, Tim, but he had a bit of a sabbatical.
Yeah, had a year off, so good to see him back and good to see him playing good footy.
Well, he's pretty important to them in their defensive zone. If they can get him firing, he really gives them a dimension. As Quinton Graham goes off the ground, looking for the boundary line. Here comes Sutherland. Great commitment at the contest. Over the top went Chris Gowans. Oh, and it's on for young and old early.
Yeah, well, I was saying earlier in the pre-match that you've got to be mentally prepared your way all weekend for your game, and you've got to make sure that you're fired up for it. And this is the only danger for Centrals today.
Wintle down the throat of Viney, who had a bit of an airy. Broad went hard, committed himself to the bottom of the contest, and the umpire is forced to bounce. Now, a couple of checkouts. We've got Hay picking up Sutherland, Tim, which I like that.
It would be interesting because he's a dangerous player, Sutherland, isn't he? Probably, you know, been such a good player for the Roosters.
Well, Central get first touch on the ball again after that ruck contest, but McGowan just unable to break free. So, ball thrown up again, and Arnold gets first hand to it. Sets it up for McGowan again, working, burrowing at the front of the pack. And just a little chip kick lands half an inch inside the line from Hamblin.
Davis gets the job on Lockwood. Well matched again.
It's a good matchup, isn't it? Because a fortnight ago when we saw Lockwood out here, he did a lot of damage and looked really good. So Davis is probably a good matchup for him.
So ball again in dispute. There'll be plenty of this. Bodies crashing in over the top. Umpire calls a halt. This will be a test of the SANFL umpiring, whether they want to let the game go.
They will, Neil, and I reckon it's a great feature of our game. I certainly think it's still a man's game in South Australia. I'm really worried about the AFL and the way they're attacking their umpiring and the way they're officiating their games as Broad kicks that one out of bounds on the full.
Says something about North Adelaide's season, doesn't it? Missed kick from Central's 2 inches inside the line. Missed kick from North Adelaide 2 inches outside.
Well, there's certainly strong sides from within the club as Marco Bello, back from a thumb injury, drives the ball towards centre half forward. Broad over the top, great commitment. Slade underneath it, gets the ball, steals it away from him. Coming over the top was Lockwood. He's put Davis in a headlock, and the umpire ignores everything and says, fellas, I'll have a bounce. We're 6 minutes in to the first term. It's Central against North, and 5 points the margin.
Michael down there on the boundary. I know you had a long chat with your former teammate in Darryl Hart before the game. What was his mood like?
I really admire the way Darryl's gone about his job this year. He's just got very little talent to work with, but he really has got his ideas set. He wants to get back to that skill-based game, and he's looking for a win. I said, I'd love to see the red and white get up. He said, not half as much as I would.
Well, inside 50, Centrals go again, and it might be a bit hard for them might be a bit hard for the Roosters if Central get a run on. They managed to rush that one across the goal line, so just a minor score from Arnott. It was on course, so we have another look.
Yeah, good defensive work to just get that over the line, but signs are ominous at the moment. North are just in that mode where it's very difficult to know how to win. I like this bloke Broad. He's actually played juniors at the Magpies. Now with North Adelaide, and he's been hitting in a few contests.
31 was Broadhorse, drives it up. That was Foden, who seems to have recovered. Plays on the big man. Some urgency in his game. The kick was well smothered. A bit of a dribbler through half forward. McGowan couldn't quite control it. Sutherland's over the top. He'll hold the ball in the area. We're 7.5 minutes into the first term, and the players really are starting to warm to this.
Just like to see some North Adelaide players just get in front in some of these throw-ups. Just Arnold's been able to get his hand to it a bit easy and then get it down to Central's players.
It's a bit like a rugby scrum there as Arnold dishes it out to Hereda. Quick one forward at the back of the pack. It's Wakeland. Welcome back.
The 4 of this side then.
Yep. Slade turns one around the corner and he'll head towards the boundary line. And it's great to see Wakeland back, Tim, playing his 100th game today.
It's been a hard road for Michael, hasn't it? He's had so many interruptions.
2 years out of the game, and gee, we've watched him. He's been a tremendous player. Missed last year's grand final, which would have broken his heart, but he's stuck with it. Gowans. That was James turning one around the corner. Into space, the opportunity for the runners. 26 was Glashenko, giving it back to Sutherland. Glashenko in the double play, and into the midfield it goes. Underneath this one, Viney. James Gowan has just claimed him in the midfield and just slowed it down enough to allow his teammates to get back and fill the hole. So the kick goes long towards centre forward. 4-on-4 in the contest. A big fly up and down went Rivers, the new chum. That's Jared Rivers, making a bit of an impact. And another loose ball for a bounce.
Geez, I like the way he hit that ball then. There's a couple of lads, Broadhurst is one, and up there, young Rivers again. Just the way they do hit the ball and hit the contest was great.
Well, Burford's following your advice. He got to the front of the contest there. Wintle's kick was smothered, though. They almost got it away. Centrals, though, back on the wing. Bevis can't gather it. Just enough pressure from behind. Centrals, though, numbers, and they tell the tale. They get inside that attacking area again. And McArdle does well Kicks it into the centre corridor, almost. Doesn't quite get it to where he was aiming. Stevens doesn't get the mark paid. Now he's on the ground, held up, and
Throw.
it was ruled as a throw. So Ebel comes away, kicks it up to half forward. Again, well, working hard. Across there was Roberts. Gave the hand pass back to Ebel, who followed up. Gave a short kick. Mark out there on the wing for Terrell Wintle. He was on the Crows list for a while. Chips it over the top. Running in now. Broad. Kicks it up forward.
Oh, did well.
We were impressed with his start. And Daniel Hargraves, who's the leading goal kicker in the league, he's taken a mark just a few metres out.
Broad's going to be an important player on a day like today, Tim.
Absolutely, you're dead right. If you can just here, Wintle just chips over the top to him and he takes off. Saw that there was nobody in front of him, so just sprints. Doesn't worry about bouncing, which is great. And then just kicks it straight to the square where Hargraves, good one-on-one contest.
And he finishes the job. Most importantly, his first for the afternoon.
Well, that's really good, isn't it? That's excellent stuff. Just with the midfielders, I reckon if you go hard at 3 or 4 contests in the book, you know, you might not get a stat out of it, but you're on the bottom of the pack, you're bringing the ball back up to the umpire, then I reckon you get an easy one eventually. And that was his payoff there, where Wintle's chipped over the top to Broad. He sprinted straight to the 50-metre line, got it to the square, one-on-one for Hargraves. And let's face it, he's the leading goal kicker in the bottom side. He must be a good player, so get it to him one-on-one.
Kicked, 5 goals, 2 against Port Adelaide, 38 for the season. He's going pretty well. Loose ball in the centre. It's 1 goal, 1 apiece as North Adelaide go forward. Fowden looked to be tripped.
Yeah.
Wakeland claimed him. He lost his footing, that's for sure. Now, whether he was actually connected, I couldn't be certain.
Here's another one that's going to be important for him up there. Keep making a contest, keep getting around there. Hard work for centre forward. You've got to work it, Elizabeth.
It gives them a little bit of size, a little bit of dimension. Arnott gang tackle 2-on-1 in the contest. Cook was there, so too Wintle, and we're 11 and a half minutes gone. Well, Michael Parsons predicted as we look at the Central District coaches box, and you've got to say that there's a few worries just at this stage. Very little fluency for the Bulldogs, particularly from defence, and the conditions aren't going to suit their type of game today.
Well,
David, I think you've got to be fairly impressed with the way North Adelaide, although they haven't won a game the whole season, they're just in and under at the ball, and they've still got that confidence to use their hands even in conditions slippery like they are today.
Well, Central's used their hands too. Well, that was a poor kick. So poor disposal. Coming back the other way is Broadhurst. Kicks it long off the left leg, inside half forward. Again, Central's with the numbers. Hopwood is one of those. Cleans it up, kicks it outside the forward 50. Marking was Michael Wakeland. Game number 100. Kicks it back inside the corridor. And Hopwood gets on the end of a hand pass. McGowan working hard on the far side with plenty of space in front of him. Gives it to the left footer on his left leg. McKinnon, well, didn't make the most of that forward entry. Over the head of McArdle. Ebel will track the ball towards the line. McArdle did well. He's got it off him. Back into open space. North Adelaide numbers come in. Might have been Mail under heavy pressure. And in the end, the umpire will bounce it.
There is the Central District lineup, Tim.
it's all right, isn't it? Put it up there for our benefit. We can keep an eye on what's happening.
Arnold just flicks it out the back. Again, Davis does well. Feeds out the hand pass. North Adelaide will come out of defence. That's Kurzel. But Paredes too strong on the wing. Quickly gets it forward. Hopwood running again, receiving off that half back line. Great disposal. Finds Ricky McGowan. He'll kick it inside 50 on the lead. Well, in the end, Lockwood couldn't get into the contest, and an opportunity again for North Adelaide to clear the zone, and that was a very, very good kick. So at half forward, Roberts was on the lead, just chips one over the top, running again, Newbury. See the article in the paper, Newbury suggesting there's no reason we can't win, and he chips it across to Cook, one of the only 2 players on the ground for North Adelaide who have recorded more than 100 games in the SANFL.
It's quite clever by Newbury, wasn't it? Just eluded the tackle and had the sense of mind just to chip it to Cook, who was on the run.
So Tim Cook, former Central's boy, would know this ground. And he took every advantage of knowing his distance as well. Kicks a goal. And North Adelaide in front.
Don't sound so surprised, Neil.
Well, that's right. I mean, they have got some good starts to games. They've been in contests right up to near the end. It's just a matter of learning how to get over the line at the moment for them, or actually believing that they can get over the line. That's probably the actual key point. And Timmy Cook, like you said, knows this ground well and kicked many a goal here, but none with goal umpire Cam showing him as accurately as that.
That, Tim, is a goal that Tim Cook couldn't kick early in his career, and he really has worked on his goal kicking. And it's now a feature of his game where once perhaps it was a weakness. Gazelle gets it around the corner to Bamford, who goes towards half forward. Fowden really is committing himself to the contest. Broad, taken high, still got the kick away. Drives it into the forward line. Geister couldn't come out with it cleanly. Quick work from Hopwood, delivers it out wide to Hay. Now the left footer will go short. Just a little chip over the top to Hamlin, who can run. Set it up with the loose man. He's doing that pretty well to Slade. Now Slade's on the outer wing, drives it long on a one-on-one contest. Underneath that was Lockwood. At the back it was Davis. Davis did pretty well. Lockwood's second effort was good. Beavis was good. Dishes it out. Lockwood at turn. Chris Gowans gets through traffic. Well, he was a magician. Got out of jail and kicked a goal. Great goal, Chris Gowans. And the Dogs bite back.
Well, that'd be a bit of a relief for their coach's box, wouldn't it? Because they were just looking like a lot of them was perhaps sweating off and just playing forward of the ball, and they've got to be concerned about that, because if North Adelaide continue to do well, they'll struggle, because you're just waiting for the turnover all day long. You need guys like this in there fighting hard, trying to win possession all around the ground. Set the win up, then you can probably play forward a little bit more.
And Central District's just changing their ruckman off the bench. Big Arnold comes off, Cowans comes on. I've been quite impressed with the way Michael Burford, he's giving away 4 or 5 inches to these guys, and he's really having a crack. He's jumping at the ball.
Jumps at it again, and as a result, well, Bamford almost got away. He was held up. Fighting in hard was Viney over the ball. Now Bamford with that pace comes clear off the left leg, looks up forward, and a great pass on the lead, Hargraves.
That was a great kick, wasn't it?
That is positive. Daryl Hart would appreciate that.
That was good football, wasn't it? They worked it out of the centre beautifully. I'm impressed with Burford as well, Michael Parsons. I'm really enjoying the way he's getting over the top of Arnold and getting it down to his players in the middle in there. Just working it out with little short handballs.
Nick Kurzel in the centre was clever too, just
He's
toe
a good
poking
player,
forward.
isn't he?
So good look at the angle here for Hargraves, and he swings it around very nicely. And he has his second for the afternoon. And again, North Adelaide leads it by a goal. 16 minutes into this game.
That's an excellent finish by Daniel Hargraves, because when you do good work out of the centre and you are working hard and you want to believe that you can win, well, you've got to have people finishing off just to make it a bit more confidence in the side. You just look at the way Bamford broke through there. His left foot, he's a natural right footer. That's a great kick. And Hargraves swung this back. You knew it was coming back a mile. Great vision there.
So back in the middle, Burford again, opposed to Gowans, this time dead heat in the contest. Stevens throws it out wide to McKinnon, who just can't quite pick it up. Grubbers one towards half forward. Lashenko taken by Gowans. Now it's McKinnon, snaps it on the left boot, turns it around the corner. But Davis as well playing well in front of Lockwood, delivers up to the midfield. One-on-one contest. This one, Viney went hard, McGowan went just as hard. It worked, and it was pretty efficient in the final wash, wasn't it? And this is Ebert crashing through. Klein goes to ground. Ebel holds his foot. Lashenko feeds it out. 31 is Broadhurst, just delivers it forward. Kurzel, very quick and clever with the hands. Missed the target that time, but good enough to follow it up. This fella's very quick and clever. Hand skills perhaps in the wet have just missed the target a couple of times. Broadhurst got one high, went to ground, and could have been done for holding the ball. Made no attempt to get it out. The umpire said it was squared up. A hit to the head and holding the ball will have a bounce.
You can see the North Adelaide pattern really starting to emerge. This is what Daryl Hart is trying to do. And it's just those younger players letting him down with some skill at this point.
Gowans throws it down the throat of Stevens. Bevis, well, he played the ball, didn't he? And the umpire rewarded him. Cop one high and will take the free right out of the midfield. Has plenty of movement. Decides to go long and deep into the pocket. It's a pretty good kick in the final analysis. The umpire's paid a free kick for an infringement. Now the advantage rules as Gowans. This is Chris into the open goal, unprotected. And bang. It's starting to look ominous as Central is starting to run and run hard.
Well, when they do work hard and earn free kicks like that, and I thought that was a superb piece of work by Bevis to earn that free kick, that's when you'll get the results. He's got up, kicked it quickly. This is where North Adelaide's defence and their midfield have got to turn around and just see what's behind them. They're just not quickly turning around and finding out what the other forwards are doing, because they're just sneaking back off of them and making sure that they've got 10 yards.
Got to feel a little bit of sympathy there. Broadhurst giving away both of those free kicks. And he's trying very hard, as is North Adelaide. But as you say, Tim, just not aware of what's around them at the moment.
At times, and that's just experience. That's all it is, and we know that there's only a couple of guys with 100 games in their side, so they just got to learn quickly.
Well, one of those was playing in the mud there, couldn't get a handle on the ball. It was Tim Cook. So as a result, Centrals again come clear. Slade, not really a marking target, but he brought the ball to the front, and Arnott finished the job with another goal for Centrals. And that's 2 for Simon Arnott.
That's a great finish. That's real classic front and square crumbing, and you know, just very well worked out of the middle here. James Gowans just walked around his opponent. They are so valuable to the Centrals lineup, the Gowans brothers. There's a contest. Who's front and square? Coming through. Simon Arnott, with all his experience, straight through the middle.
185 centimetres. He's a big fellow to be doing the roving work in the wet so easily. Look at this. Bang. Great experience.
Conversely, David, Slade at just 174 centimetres wasn't a real marking target as such, was
But he took the front position though,
Yep.
Crossy. That was the important thing. As Cowans throws it down the throat of McGowan, in turn McKinnon, now James Gowans. Gee, their combination in the midfield's pretty good, isn't it? Slick. And we saw North Adelaide just miss a few targets earlier. Well, Central District hit 4 in a row at quick range, rapid fire, and I reckon that's the only difference between these two sides at this stage.
Yeah, but unfortunately, David, over a course of 120 minutes, you know, that's going to end up a big margin, isn't it?
Of course it does, but gee, you look at North Adelaide, the physical preparation of their players looks pretty good. And you just think that if Daryl Hart can sharpen up their hand skills and their kicking to position, they could be a pretty good side. They run hard. Look at this fellow, Wintle.
They will be.
Look at them running in numbers, and that's a great sign for a side that's not winning. Bamford goes towards half forward. Roberts caught underneath it. Hereda, I reckon, has had the better of that contest so far. And he did pretty well last week too, didn't he, Hereda? Inboard, that handball was a straight. Now, that's very unlike Central District. Quinton Graham goes for a big torpedo. Geister was the target. Hopwood, James Gowans, Scraggs still got the kick away. That's where they're good, you know, under pressure. They still just kick into position just with a moment's notice. That's a shocker. Be a bit of disappointment there, wouldn't there? Look at this. Chris Gowans in 50. Delivers it up. Look at the use of the ball. Beautifully put to Arnott. Viney did very, very well. Scragg and just bumped him out of the contest and then went to the line. Now, that's a sign for a young player that you really have to like.
I do like him. He's got a lot of commitment. Again, it's just that skill level, sometimes with a hand and foot, that needs to be improved.
A few of the Centrals fans just waiting in judgment there. Viney, one of those players we were talking about. And Lockwood just gets a boot on the ball, puts it out in that danger zone out from goal. Coming and meeting the ball was Burford, and eventually...
Great tackling, Crossy, isn't it? You think of the 2-on-1 tackles right around the ground at the moment, wet weather football. I'm not sure those kids really care.
Or appreciate it.
But
I'm talking about swapping cards there, I think.
So, meanwhile, the ball's in the Central's forward line, and Lockwood over the top, gets it out to Arnott, off the left leg, boots it up in front of goal. Shepherding done. That was all legal according to the umpire. And another goal comes up for Centrals. They've kicked the last 3 in rapid fire.
And hand skills under pressure. Lockwood was just terrific.
He was, wasn't he? Just have a look at the contest. He should never allow a forward grab the ball. He's just grabbed it out of the air, because it can happen like this. Again, Arnott knows where to be. He just knows where to be, because that's a straight look on goal. That's his 3rd goal, and he's always been in the right position for all 3 of them. And, you know, just can't allow a forward to grab it out of the contest.
At the bounce. Out it comes wide. Hay over the top of it. Broad gave a real good account of himself. A great contest. Gowans goes to ground. And look at the number of players who just come streaming in. The umpire's picked out a free kick to Chris Gowans here. Cop on high, said umpire Danny Cow. And Gowans will take the ball at grandstand wing. Lifts the eyes. Wet patch of the ground. Delivers it forward. McArdle out on the lead. Full stretch. Couldn't quite get there. And Ebel carries it to the line for a throw-in.
Been good so far on McArdle.
He has. McArdle's very athletic. I've rarely seen Ebel beaten, you know. A best and fairest winner with the club, and you can see that his intensity, Ebel, is just terrific. 30 over the top of that was Uni. We haven't seen much of him so far. Cook, desperate measure. He got it to the line. That's all he was after. And James Gowan gives him a bit of biffo. So come on, Timmy. look after yourself. He won't take a backward step, and the umpire's blown the whistle for a free kick.
Oh, reverse.
Well, stirs up the crowd. Nothing wrong with that. No reports, and the umpire's done the right thing. Paid a free kick and lets them sort it out. There's a bit of emotion still there. Gowans won't take a backward step, and neither will Tim Cook. So great for the footy. And the fans are warming to this. Great contest, 24 and a half minutes in. Central lead by 12 points, and Cook and Gowans are still going on with it.
Alistair Clarkson's dragged Gowans, and Gowans has just had a nice thing to say to the coach.
Fair enough. Lushenko, he's done some clever things so far in this match. From half back, delivers a long one. It's a 50-metre kick with a wet ball. Did it pretty well. Roberts brings it down. Davis, who's been pretty good today in the first quarter at least, drives it towards half forward. Hay was clever, got the fist in. Wintle, slick work. That's the handball North Adelaide want. And look at Viney streaming downfield. Goes for goal, but sprays it off to the right and gets a point, the defender. But it was a good build-up to the Roosters.
Yeah, David, I just reckon, mate, that that's exactly what I was talking about earlier with young Viney. Just perfect movement there, went to a little give. I can see here that I think the coach is having a word to him about his action, just telling him to calm down, keep going hard at the football. I
tell you what, you take on one Gowans, you take on two, because Gowans number 2 has just had a crack at Timmy Cook as well.
Well, North Adelaide, another opportunity here. Mucking around with the ball. Broad gets it wide. Viney can't get a handle on it. As a result, Hay comes in. Just soccers off the ground, clears the area. That's the best I think Central's could hope for, just to set it up again.
Hey, Tim, I didn't like what I saw there with Gowans talking to the coach on the phone. If he was, in fact, talking to the coach, it didn't look good.
Well, you're always disappointed and angry with yourself, but coaches have got to understand how hot you are when you're coming off the ground.
Well, Hopwood, quick hand pass. Now McKinnon puts on a spurt, then with his left leg comes to this side of the ground. And Bello just worked his man under the ball. That was Lushenko. Now he kicks it up into centre half forward. Again, same thing from Lockwood. Worked his man under the ball. He's got a player loose. Simon Arnott, if you don't mind, has been able to find space inside that forward 50 on time after time, and he'll line up for his 4th goal.
Yeah, they've got to do something about that. He might have to run somebody with him because he's too experienced. And he's just finding the space that's needed to kick goals.
Yeah, well, kick number 7, I think he sprayed that a bit, and he has, out to the right. Minor score. So, 2-goal margin now in favour of the Doggies. Well into time on, first quarter.
Even. Out it comes to Ebel. Goes over the top. That's a very good set play. You've got to say that North have got that part of their game worked out pretty well. Newbury, who kicked 4 last week against Port Adelaide, playing deep in defence. Back it goes to Ebel, who's finding plenty of the ball to Wintle, who would be one of the dominant small men on the ground, Ian Mogridge.
In possession.
How many possessions, Moggy?
11 possessions, 5 and 6.
Ian Mogridge, our stats man, giving us the possessions throughout the afternoon as McKinnon marks and pushes the ball out wide. Arnott is just having a field day. I reckon Davis followed him down, but I'm not sure that he's necessarily playing on him. Slade missed it, recovered. The second effort was very good. Drills it long. Look at the kick. Now that's a great kick under pressure. And marking it about 20 metres out directly in front was Lockwood. That's what I'm talking about, Tim. Skills under pressure.
Well, it was spot on, wasn't it, David? Didn't miss the target. Lockwood just backing back. This will be an easy goal for him, but just when they lift their work rate, Centrals, you can just see that they are that far above North Adelaide in a performance level.
I think it's the skills under pressure is the only difference. North Adelaide are running hard. They look terrific as the siren sounds. Lockwood will shoot for goal. There'll be no further play in this match, and he's put it through. So the goal umpire says a goal to the Bulldogs. Lockwood gets his first, and the quarter-time score shows Central District 6-2, North Adelaide 3-2, an 18-point margin, Tim, in favour of the Bulldogs, when at one stage it looked like North Adelaide could have seized control. The Bulldogs lead by 18 points, but North Adelaide were very, very competitive. Slade got the ball from the ruck contest. It was Arnold who won the tap. Big push from Stevens. Couldn't get him into the contest. as Lockwood comes hard at it. Broad, who played so very well, goes hard at the ball. Over the top, James Gowans lays a tackle on Wintle, and the umpire said he dived on top, and that's a free kick. That is the rule, of course, and they've interpreted it pretty well so far this year. We've had no blue with that one. James Gowans now drops it in towards half forward, shepherded by McKinnon, but picking up the loose ball was Broadhurst around the corner to Wintle. Now, Wintle had 11 possessions in the first quarter, fellas. 5 kicks, 6 handballs. He was really one of North Adelaide's best. I guess you'd have to say that Arnott was clearly the best for Central District, but I reckon Wintle might carry the can for North Adelaide. Over the top at Hopwood, gets it out. 46 was Jared Rivers. Young rookie gets the handball forward. Broad can't get clear.
Isn't that good, though, David? Just getting into the contest again. You know, on the bottom, give it back to the umpire. You've got to do those things as a midfielder early. You're right with Wintle. He's just one of those guys that just finds the ball, you know, time and time again. Up against Ricky McGowan too.
Well, there he is. He just shoots one out. He's only his 5th game, by the way, Broad. So he's showing a little bit as Glashenko, who was 2nd highest possession winner in the first quarter, drives it forward. That's better work. Geister, who's really had his work cut out for him the last 5 quarters of football. Look at Hopwood over the top. Tim Ginniver calls for it. Neil Cross calls for it. And out it goes to Bevis, who just chips one into a little bit of space where McGowan's running wide. Gives himself plenty of space, touches the ball to ground, looks further afield. Where are the leads coming from? Inboard, it's James Gowans. It's kicked a kick out there. Gowans from half forward. Delivers it long into the forward line. A little bit of a pushing contest. Davis was good on Lockwood. Wintle gets it, claimed. The tackle goes forward. And now Ebel at the back, the big man, delivers it wide. Underneath this one, an opportunity for Newberry to mark, but well done McKinnon. Pushes the ball towards the line, and we're 2 minutes in and it's really starting to warm up.
That was a good effort by McKinnon then. Get over the top, spoil, and he's going to have to go off. I reckon he's done a finger.
I think it might be a contact lens.
Is it?
That was my guess. Yep, he's just turning it over. I reckon he's lost a lens just on that bump.
Well, I'll be. Not having ever worn one, I wouldn't know.
Well, I wear contact lenses, so I know. I knew the look.
Good pick, mate. Well done.
Meanwhile, North Adelaide have taken the ball clear of defence. Kick it up to half forward. But again, Centrals. And once they turn over the ball, they're so organised. Gowans, Chris type, is loose at half forward. Just turns inside off the left leg. Kicks it up in front of, well, plenty of room to move out there for Stevens. He looks around, decides to hook it around the left leg. Just missed.
I reckon Crossy might have split the webbing in his hand.
Well, I was wrong after all that.
No, they've just applied a bandage to it, and often when you go to a contest, you split the webbing between your fingers. It's just a little tiny show of blood. He just split it.
You are correct.
Oh, there you go. I thought when he turned the hand over, I thought for sure it had to be a lens, but he's gone down into the rooms.
Yeah, it's and they're painful. You just know you're in trouble as soon as you do it. They have to be stitched. I had a couple of those in my time. Tim, what about you? Great pickup, wasn't it? That was Glashenko. He has been very, very impressive. I've rated him North Adelaide's 2nd best player to this point in the game. Hey, and isn't he an improving talent, this young fellow? Only 25 years of age, but and only 8 games to his credit, but he's getting better with every one. Now it's McKinnon who dishes out one. They combine beautifully, these two. McGowan and the 2 Gowans boys, 1, 2, 3. You see one, invariably there's another on the end of it. I reckon they just wax at these fellows, and towards full forward he goes. Davis took front position off hands at Stevens. Great Rovers goal. Well, that was 1, 2, 3, wasn't it, Tim? That's where good Rovers should be. Coming from the front, taking the loose ball straight onto the boot. It was just automatic reflex and a great goal.
Well, Michael Stevens, I just hope that he and Port Adelaide are patient, because I can really see him developing into a great player. And sometimes, you know, you take longer than others, but if it takes 1 or 2 seasons, then so be it. Quick entry in here by Gowans was sensible. Just from behind Lockwood, made a contest, made sure it come to the front of the pack, and there was Stevens roving beautifully. But just earlier, the ball was turned over in the back line. It was 6 versus 4. Centrals are allowing them to only have 4 in the contest to win them, and then everybody's loose.
Well, Central go forward again, too easy through the corridor. Gowans to Gowans, and Chris Gowans finishes it with another goal. That's his 3rd.
Well, see, that's the danger. That's the real danger. To allow a ball come out of the centre of the ground as easily as that without touching it.
Look at Jimmy Cook, here he goes.
Goal. Oh, it's just too easy, and that's where North Adelaide, you just see them drop their head straight away and they go,
thing I liked about Chris Gowans, he just went straight to Timmy. He said, were you on me? And they're just going to target Tim, you can tell. There's a fair amount of feeling out there, and it's like a game of chess as it's just unfolding. As umpire Pfeiffer puts the ball in the air, there'll be no bouncing today in that wet midfield. Perfect work, Burford, to get it down, but look at the ball in the wet. And Cook and Gowans embrace. Warm moment in football.
I don't know.
Expecting to punch him in the guts, to be honest.
I don't think it'll be warm.
There's absolutely no love lost between those two. And Tim made sure that Chris Gowans was stuck in the mud. Cook gets the kick away. Bamford around the corner into a little bit of space, but dropping back. And it is great to see him back, isn't it, Michael Wakeland? Imposing stature. He's been a terrific clubman for the Bulldogs, and he's back from 2 years in the wilderness, virtually. Getting it out quickly was Newbury to Bamford. The handballs just weren't quite as slick as they could have been, and now the ball dribbles across the line. We're 6 minutes into the second term, and it's 29 points the margin. Central just get away from you.
That's the difference, isn't it? There was 2-3 handballs. That was a mistake. Centrals would have had 2-3 handballs and got away.
Now the ball back into play. Player at the bottom of the screen, Steinburner, back for his first game since dislocating an elbow. So Central's forward again. Whoa. Just a hand pass smothered.
Sutherland, wasn't he good?
Yep. And as a result, there's Cook off the left wing, gives it to Davis. Tries to draw a player. In the end, he puts Viney under pressure. Turned over. Slade, up and away. Arnott, well, that was good pressure again. He freed up the ball for Daniel Ebert. And across to Davis. Well, under pressure, got the hand pass out to Tim Cook. Run down by Stevens. Well, this is good. Now Daniel Ebert comes free. Kicks the ball forward for North. And under pressure out there, well, pulling it back in was the young fella, Jared Rivers.
Gone.
Yeah,
And he's gone as a result.
No, he had to be Darryl. Perhaps Darryl knew. So what's he doing?
Central get another turnover at half-back, but it's slow, so as a result, not much to kick to here. Steinburner gets around the back, gets the kick. Graham, in fact, the other long sleeve out there. Now McGowan through the midfield, building, running, forward. Gowan's under it, and takes it on the second grab. Gets up quickly to Lockwood, bangs from outside 50, it's going close. McArdle tracking it back, out of bounds. In the end, Eagle escorts it over.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worry now. You can see Central starting to really run and work for one another. And the floodgates, you know, you don't want them to open up before half-time.
And they share the ball, and when they start sharing it, that's when they're really dangerous. They stick together, don't they?
North Adelaide again at the half-back line here. Third handball, missed its target.
Michael Burford in ruck, holds his ground pretty well, but it was Arnold who thumped it down. Davis claimed by James Gowans. To the back door he goes, and Glushenko heads towards the boundary line. A little too wide, and Hanson out of bounds on the full. Rare mistake for him. He's been pretty good today. Really has impressed me. And now it's with Chris Gowans. Now, he's kicked 3, and I'm not sure that he's confident about the distance, but he's a very good kick. So from about 45 metres, heavy ball. He goes for goal. He'll have it right in the square. Davis was up and down, brings it to ground. McGowan got the kick away, but it was smothered. Now McArdle needs support inside. Gets it, running down to Arnott. He's already kicked 3. Feeds it back to McArdle, turning it around the corner. They really are sharing it, the Bulldogs. This time it doesn't pay off. No payola. And the ball is rushed for a behind.
Well, some hard work being done there by the likes of Timmy Davis and some of the other defenders, because it's just looking a bit dangerous here. Oh, good vision there from goal umpire Cam.
Daniel Ebert, the assigned kicker, brings it in long, looking for Davis. Oh, McGowan sits at the front, says thank you. Hand passes it out to Hopwood, chips it inside 50. This is trouble. Well, they just couldn't manage to hold on to the ball, North Adelaide, and that's fortunate in the end. They managed to get control of it. Sutherland out to Cook. Cook now with, well, not a lot of options down that wing. Carries it as far as he can, and his kick just can't get over the top of McGowan. And the chain of hand passes ends with Slade. Inside to James Gowans from inside 50. Lines it up, open goal square, has missed. Well, the margin out to 34 points now, or 33. That scoreboard was way too quick for me. 33 points. And we're 10 minutes into the second term.
Sutherland, a high ball underneath this one. Burford, Arnold, ball comes forward. Slade front and square, couldn't quite take it. Viney crashes through, hurries the boot. Ball to boot, forward it goes. No mark taken by Fowden. Steinburner, clever hands, pushed it forward, did it pretty well. McGowan concedes a little bit of ground, goes back to Wakeland, who pushes it wide. Their switch of direction is pretty good. Chris Gowans, Lushenko's got him. Well, they're even happy to hand it off to a ruckman, if you don't mind. Arnold was good. Hopwood comes back in board. There was just a little bit of Lairising there. Chris Gowans, Hopwood, Arnold, one step, turns around the corner. Look, there's not much pressure, let's be honest about it. Now, North were good at that area earlier. James Gowans deep into the pocket. Stevens, Sutherland thumped it away. Lockwood snap for goal. It's hit the post. They're just forcing the ball into the forward line. It's a pressure cooker now, and they're just pushing it in and giving their forwards plenty of opportunities.
North Adelaide need a goal real quick just to stop this flow that's happening for Centrals. You're right. And they're probably Central's danger is they're just overusing it. There's probably 1 or 2 possessions too many, which is forcing them to make these mistakes.
Yeah. And Daryl Hart has just changed his ruckman. Michael Burford, I think, has done a pretty good job to date, has sat down, and the 17-year-old in Mark Jarma comes on for a turn.
And let me tell you, they were lining up in the centre there, and around comes Steinburner. I don't know if that was the best option. Sloppy off the boot, and Centrals have the ball in front of goals. Chance for North Adelaide to clear. They do that, they get it out to Newbury on the wing. Brings it wide, just down in front of us. Fowden did well, got to the front. Wakeland knocked it away, kept his feet though. Fowden gets it forward again. That's not a bad kick from the position he was in. And eventually out of bounds. Roberts taking front position again. North Adelaide, the players there doing the right thing, getting to the front.
It's good work by Fowden then. Just kept his feet in the contest, which allowed him to get back up and get his kick away. But I'd like to see him and Cameron Roberts get into the game a bit more now.
Jamar, front position, wrestles with Arnold. Dead heat, Jamar it was who threw it down the throat of Uni. Uni turns it towards the 10-metre square. Big pack flies, no one can take the mark. Bamford off hands, turns it around the corner. Snap for goal, it's coming back. Not enough. A point the result to the Roosters, when really, Tim, a goal would have been really
necessary?
what they needed. Yeah, very, very necessary. They need one right now.
Yeah,
Setchell.
Oh, he's a big loss.
Couldn't they use him today?
He's a 30 touches bloke every week.
In the foreground, and a day like today, he'd be devastated.
Well, he was supposed to come back into the side today, but obviously not quite ready.
Just a bit of a groin, Crossy. Just didn't come up.
So Bamford's got the free kick though. He's got a player loose on the far side of the ground.
Yeah, young Jamar, and he's just running away from him. He should be running at him.
He's gone to pick up Arnold, his opposing ruckman, and yet North Adelaide's in attack. So
that's inexperience.
Bamford now just goes long. He ends up going to that contest, the 2 ruckmen. The ball comes to the front, well roved, snapped, and Broad misses. Reminds me of Kim Plomp, that guy.
He goes in similar, doesn't he? I mean, Kimmy Plomp was one of the
crash and burn.
One of the most psychotic ones that going into the football, wasn't he? He was amazing.
Crash and burn. And now on the committee of North Adelaide, isn't he?
I believe he is too.
Football director?
The footy director, thanks Michael Parsons. I think he's also their kamikaze coach as Newbury gathers the ball. He kicked, 4 goals last week against Port Adelaide towards full forward. This one won't make it. This is a push and a shove and a free kick to Foden. And the big fella's got the free, has he?
Hargraves, I think it was.
It's Hargraves at the back. Yeah. He actually got held as the ball was in the air.
Fair enough. So Hargraves, who's been prolific this year.
Look at that for nearly a hanger by Fountain.
Almost a hanger, wasn't it?
I think Quinton Graham was worried about Hargraves taking the hanger, so he just blocked him.
Hargraves has kicked 2 goals, 1 and a 50-metre penalty. I don't think he'll need it. 3 goals, 1, Tim. That's the one they really had to get, and Hargraves has been able to deliver.
Well, that's excellent. And good work by Newbury too. Again, getting the possession, realising you've got space, sprinting that space first, not worrying about trying to bounce it. Just Cook here, who's been in every contest. He's been good today. Newbury took off, did well, kicked it straight long to the square. Got 2 big targets there. Fowden nearly pulled it off, but there was a free kick paid anyway because Hargraves was interfered with.
Quinton Graham was the offender. There wasn't much in it, was it really? It was a Tiggy Touchwood. And Geist is unhappy because it wasn't him who offended.
Yep.
goes against his name in some ways. The ball back in the middle, and Hargraves has now kicked those 3 goals, and he's last kicked a goal before that one in the middle of the first quarter.
Courageous.
So, courage there from Wakeland, and he's just kicked it to a kennel of Bulldogs, if you like. They play around with the ball somewhat. Now out wide, Graham. He's not going to run off though, he just steadies the play. Now he runs off. Looks over the back for McArdle, is his target. He's kicked it over McArdle's head to Slade. And again,
Push,
the little
push.
man with the marking target. And that's how he got the mark.
Umpire said he got a push. Go back to Sutherland.
Marty McKinnon has made his way back to the bench from getting a few staples or stitches. Not sure of the technology, but basically the hands back together and he's ready for action.
Well, you'd hope they were stitches, wouldn't you, Tim? I don't think staples.
I'm not
would
sure
work.
they can get a stapler into the webbing. I think you'll find that'll be sutured.
Yeah.
And that stings for about 2 or 3 weeks, I can tell you. It makes it difficult to hold the ball. Have you ever had that done, Tim?
Oh, yes, once.
Yeah.
Wasn't, you're right. It's a fair recovery, isn't it?
Well, I reckon the toughest ones are a knee reconstruction. After that, it's a broken collarbone or rib, because you can't sleep or breathe for weeks. And in terms of ball handling, you don't mind breaking a finger or dislocating a finger, but a split webbing just gives you weeks of pain. And often
Opens up pretty easily too.
and it opens up, so you're often playing with painkillers. But gee, I like the way he
Good tackle.
plays. To Sutherland, great tackle. Chris Gowans, it's holding the ball. So the skipper gets pinged, and Gowans, who's kicked 3 goals already in this match, gets another opportunity from 40 out directly in front.
It was just a great tackle. He couldn't do anything about it. Just love your players to tackle like that.
Arnott's kicked 3, Gowans has kicked 3, and they really have been the difference in this match. That one's going to just get there. Well shepherded by Lockwood, and it's through. So Chris Gowans has got 4 before half-time in a wet game. It's a pretty fair effort.
Well, it is, and it was all his goal because he just did the work to get into the contest and make the tackle. As the brothers just sorted it out between themselves, but yeah, just a hot ball here. Came out the back. Now he's had an option to get rid of it, and then he's gone. That is a great tackle, and I know Scotty Sutherland probably thinks he was hard done by, but that first movement has got to be on.
Had the opportunity to dispose, could have gone to the
Look
handle.
at that. That's great vision, isn't it? But what disappoints me, there was nobody there, no numbers on the line for North Adelaide.
Well, they had the numbers in the middle. Wintle, good hand pass. Broad took on his opponent, brought the ground. As a result, turnover. Centrals run forward. Well, that was well done by Newbury. And as a result, Bamford clear on the wing. Just chips it up short. Got a player there in Uni. Uni now backs off.
Nickname be Adelaide, wouldn't it? His nickname be Adelaide, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Hargraves on the lead, but in front of him, Paris Foden puts up the long arms and takes a mark. So Foden drives it up. Hargraves belting back towards the square and doesn't get there in time to make the contest. Graham does the roving, puts it out of bounds.
Actually, it was a cryptic nickname, that one, Tim, Uni. I'm not sure that it'll be Adelaide Uni. Doesn't he come from Wodonga?
I think he is, yes.
So he's right on the border. He wouldn't be Sydney, Melbourne or Adelaide Uni. The Uni of Hard Knocks, you'd think.
Here he is.
This is Uni. Goes pretty hard at it, doesn't he? Just doesn't take a backward step. Neither does Wintle. And really, you've got to say, I think the courage factor for the small blokes on this side is strong.
Look, they have got a good midfield, and they will develop into a good side, North Adelaide. It is going to take time. I just had a look at Jamar here. Now, he's going to learn a couple of things, but I'm actually reasonably impressed with him. His hands are pretty good.
Cook turns it around the corner, touched by Hargraves, still scores a point.
He's been in amongst everything, hasn't he, Timmy Cook? And he's had a bit of a rough welcome back by the Gowans brothers.
That looks to me to be the premiership team of last year, signed on the cap. Not a bad memento to have that, is it?
Oh, there's a turnover immediately. Foden with the opportunity. It's got past. It's a goal, is it?
Hit the post.
Wow. I'll tell you what, that's mistake after mistake, and Foden didn't look to make the most of his kick. In the end, almost got away with a goal.
They're doing well here in North Adelaide. They're zoning up, and they've held the ball in for the last few minutes, which is good work. You really want your forwards working hard.
So the ball back into play. Cowan underneath it.
This is it.
North Adelaide with the numbers again. As you say, Tim, they're doing well. Hand pass came out. It was loose again, but North Adelaide boys, they're staying on their feet in the end. Unfortunate.
It's a trip.
Just a stray arm in there, was it?
Applied the tackle on Rivers, and it was just a little low.
So Jared Rivers, probably about 65 metres from goal. He'll be eternally optimistic if he thinks he can kick this. And that's why he's looking around for a pass. Bamford comes on the lead and he misses him by 5 or 6 metres.
Spoke to Daryl Hart before the game, felt that this kid can play but needs to work on his kick. I see what he means.
Well, he comes from Sacred Heart, Michael, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
And they produce some pretty good kids around that way, but I think Hardy would know. Now an opportunity now coming out of defence. Hopwood forward he goes. Great take over the top of that contest was Newbury. Now towards the forward pocket he goes. Hargraves was up and down before the ball got there. Geister at the back tries to paddle it out, does so successfully. McGowan claimed, tackled, goes to ground. Loose ball just comes clear. Really, there's plenty of players going hard. Bamford knocked into his own man in Broad, now delivers it back inboard. Sutherland down from defence. They've forced a wall and just pushing it back in underneath it. But look at this. Chris Gowans, who's been everywhere today, marks deep in the back pocket, plays on, delivers it out to the far side to Wakeland. Can he get out there? No, he doesn't. Glashenko gets there. This fellow, Tim's been very, very impressive.
It's been great, hasn't he? Hits the ball very hard. I just wish North Adelaide could hit a few more targets. They're just missing too many at the moment.
Stevens to Hay to Steinburner. Welcome back, Steiny. Welcome back, Wakeland. So two experienced players. Welcome back. Viney did pretty well there. Copped a little bit of criticism. Almost tripped. Holds his feet. Goes long, driving it to forward into space, but Hopwood drops into the hole.
That is the criticism of his game.
Well, it is Crossy, isn't it? That's where they're letting themselves down, North.
And they're not letting themselves down with Endeavour. Bamford comes free. Oh, geez, he knocked the ball away. Took possession, just couldn't finish it. A speedster.
Problem is they've had the ball in their forward zone for 7 or 8 minutes. They've had 3 or 4 shots, all being resulted in points. They've got to get some goals now. They've got to make, a Bamford goal like that come off.
The last 7 inside 50s.
Last 7 inside 50s, Ian Mogridge tells us. So they've done well, and they've gone man on man from the kick in, and North Adelaide struggled with that. Steinburner, though, gets a free kick. Now they break and look for a loose one. Well,
there we go.
Poor inability to find a target. As a result, Cook hand passes it off to Broad, closes inside 50.
They need it.
And, oh, well, it's just the wrong side of the post. As you say, very much a needed goal.
Now, we should ask Ian Mogridge, the last few times inside 50, I reckon North Adelaide are dominating the inside 50, Moggy.
They certainly are. They're 23-22 in front now.
There's a real murmur in the crowd down here at ground level. The Doggy supporters getting restless. They want to see the ball up the other end.
I guess they're dominating the scoreboard, but out on the field, North Adelaide are mounting a challenge now. Roberts fights hard for it. Raider had the ball stolen away from him. Roberts was the thief who just got it out, and underneath this one, young Jared Rivers, the Sacred Heart kid. So he's rangy and long. Let's have a look at his kick. You're right. His kicking style is a bit ordinary. He needs some work on that, but Hardy will do that. Stevens, well done over the top of it, Uni. Geister held his footing. 41 working hard for it was Mick Kurzel. Or is it Kurzel? I think it is. The Blackfriars kid, he's only 17, 241. Plenty of youth in the side as Geister. Really, you had Adam Richardson, now you've got Hargraves. Last 2 weeks for him has been a blur. Hay, the left footer, goes long and wide, and again it's just a little too long and a little too wide out of bounds on the full. We're 24 and a half minutes into the second term. North trail by 28 points, but the Bulldogs really have got a contest.
And Scott Sutherland will kick just inside the 50, sits it up. Hargraves will fly from the back, but at the front,
Jamar.
Mark,
Well done.
goal. Jamar did well. For a big man, just held his feet, kicked the goal.
It's only 17-2, Tim, so they've got a lot of good, promising kids.
Gee, I was glad I gave him a rap earlier. That was fantastic work, really, to fly across the front of a pack. Some really big fellas in this contest. He's just come up, good hands, had the sense of mind to get it quickly onto the boot and get the goal. That's the reward that North Adelaide deserve for their last 8 minutes of play. They have dominated, kept it in their forwarded zone, and finally got a result. If they can just keep at it, I think it could be pretty close at half-time with another couple of goals.
Marty McKinnon back on the ground replacing Steinberner.
22 points down, thanks to that, Michael, as Sutherland delivers it out wide. Bamford waits for the ball to sit, just scrag. Play on to the umpire. Stevens drives it back towards centre forward. 3-on-2 in the contest. Underneath that one, Fowden couldn't get there. Chris Gowans, McGowan, claimed by Sutherland. Loose ball comes away and Fowden drives it wide. Will the advantage be allowed to fly? No, the ball will come back.
Gee, you'd be disappointed if you're North Adelaide supporter. They had a couple of players loose on the far side of the ground then.
It's a good tackle here. Sutherland on McGowan really didn't give him much opportunity.
The Fowden kick was going towards the boundary line, Crossy. I think the field umpire looked and said, oh, that ball might go out of play, I'll bring it back, which probably was the right decision. Ebel delivers out wide. Fowden finds Jared Rivers. Just watch how he drops the ball. It's just a bit of a throw. He lets the ball go too far away from his foot.
Correct.
They'll fix that. Glushenko, well,
here we go.
He has been very good. The kick was an educated one, wasn't it? Put it right out in front of Sutherland coming off the bench. Bevis almost gets there. The kick goes deep into the forward pocket. Hargraves caught underneath the contest. Hay held his ground. Over the top came Hargraves and gave away the free kick.
Textbook in the back, wasn't it?
Worked hard for it. He's intelligent, this fella.
Yeah, but Hargraves should have known better than that.
But look how he just protects the ball.
Well, Fowden gets the big arms up. That's paid. Disappoints the Doggy fans, but I think it was probably the right decision. Fowden booms it back inside 50. Ball to the front of the pack. Might have been Bevis who was taking the ground. No, Hopwood.
Broad got him too.
Good tackle.
Great tackle, wasn't it?
Again, reminiscent of Kim Klomp.
I just
Smash him into the ground.
reckon North Adelaide, there's the mini league about to go on. They've got to do some work on their crumbing and making sure they're getting in the right position.
Who better to tell them than Coach Darryl Hardy, who was magnificent at that.
Oh.
Made an art form, made a career of it, really, didn't he, Tim?
Oh, yeah, one of the best rovers the state's seen.
There he is. Well, they haven't won their last 17 games, North Adelaide, but you can see some improvement coming as Newbury. Josh Newbury, only 21, snaps one surely. So they're just clawing their way back, North Adelaide. They haven't thrown in the towel against last year's premiers. They're taking the fight right up to half-time.
Well, as I said, David, I would like to have seen them get a couple more goals for their efforts, but now it's starting to come. They've kicked the last two in a row. If they can just keep the pressure on, they are getting enough of the football, and it just feels to me that Central's again taking that foot off the pedal, not doing the hard stuff, wanting somebody else to get the ball for them. And North Adelaide are taking advantage of it, weighted numbers, and holding it in their forward zone has been really good, very impressive.
And Coach Alistair Clarkson for Central District's looking for some fresh legs in the middle. Has got Bevis in, and Rook McGowan sits down.
Central's come away from the middle, tap wide.
Well done.
And just booted towards the boundary. That'll go out of bounds. Now, I believe the last time these two sides met, they say there are danger signs for Centrals. I think it was the third quarter last time. Best quarter for the year for North Adelaide. They kicked 10 goals for.
Yeah, and they led by 5 goals, Crossy.
Yep,
5 goals 2 at three-quarter time in that match. So they were 32 points up against the reigning premier. You've got to say they've got some talent, and they know how to play the Bulldogs.
And fellas, just to interrupt, Marty McKinnon went on a couple of minutes ago, tried out that hand with the stitches in it. Obviously not right, and he's come back off.
So the siren sounds at half-time. 16 points the margin as we go into half-time. As umpire Danny Cowell sets the big fellas in motion. It was an 18-point margin at quarter time, 16 points at half-time, and North Adelaide are making somewhat of a comeback. Wintle gets it over the top, using the ball pretty well. Jamal gave it away to Roberts, crashing through and doing pretty well. Hereda, Gowans, and to half forward underneath this one. Marco Bello with that thumb heavily strapped. Crashes in, goes hard. Ebert went a little harder. Newbury came in over the top of him and the ball just bounces free. But the umpire had already blown the whistle.
Some good attack on the football early, and some good work by Wintle in the middle of the ground there with some good quick hands.
Cowell puts it in the air again. The big ruckman just shepherd each other out of the contest. Broad couldn't quite get there. Chris Gowans over the line, and Wintle happy to see him finish there. So plenty of players around the ball. Chris Gowans on screen, who kicked 4 goals in the first half. It was terrific effort for the little fellow in the wet. Arnott has 3 to be the leading goal kickers. Hamblin paddles the ball forward, goes to the line. I think Central District might just take a little bit of sting out of the tail of North Adelaide, Tim, by just playing the percentages for 5 or 10 minutes.
They've got to do those hard things again. They just let that drop off in the second term. That's what makes them a good side.
Well, Centrals were almost got the ball away. They certainly have just dominated this little area. Just being able to take the ball away from the 50-50 contest just a few too many times. Tim Cook, though, has the ball for North Adelaide. Delivers up. Sutherland works his player under the ball. Now he gets worked off it. And Slade back to his feet quickly. A hand pass out. Hamblin comes clear. Short. Gowans. That's Chris Gowans. Now chips it up. They're away and running again. Hopwood off the half-back line. Wasn't a great kick. And marked in defence by Ebel. Well, Davis is running off for him. He goes to Davis. And, well, I thought he might have put him under pressure. In the end, Tim Davis had plenty of room. Player running for him now on the far side is Viney. Viney, who's tightened up on Simon Arnott there after Arnott did him in the first quarter. And Wakeland tried very hard to get that over the line, and it just sat up in the mud just across the other side of the line.
Marty McKinnon on the phone to Alistair Clarkson, the coach. McKinnon with that left hand heavily strapped. His webbing between the fingers split in the second quarter, and he went off the ground for stitches. We may not see him. Gowans, Slade taken high. The umpire blew the whistle. Now the advantage allowed to flow as Arnold brings it back into the midfield, and Geister marks right in the centre of the square. Delivers it low towards the centre forward. Lockwood missed it. James Gowans gathers it in, gives it off to his brother and Chris. Turns one around the corner. Bellows at the back. Ebert at the front. Couldn't bring the ball to ground. Ebel cleverly done to Sutherland, almost a throw play on, says the umpire, as Viney gives it off to Davis. In turn, Wintle. Now they're sharing the ball. North Adelaide, they're dangerous. It's Cook delivering it down to Failden, who comes streaming out of defence through half forward, delivers it wide, and no one home for North Adelaide. Just wonder who the target was, Tim, temporarily. I just couldn't quite work out where the kick was going, or perhaps he just miskicked it.
What happened, David, was he was actually going to head for Hargraves, who would double back the other way, but then the pressure came from late from the Central's defender, and he actually skewed his kick the wrong way.
You just saw Bowen Lockwood taking a seat. A surprising interchange for mine as Marty McKinnon comes on to take up that role at the forward pocket.
Neither of those seagulls, by the way, was Bowen Lockwood. Cook on the snap. That's a minor score, or is it out of bounds? Minor score. Just creep a little bit closer, North Adelaide. First score of the second half.
They'd love a first goal. So you watch Wintle's hands here. Look at that. Hands and knees stuff, gets it up to Cook. You need that happening all the time from your midfield.
And Cook had a willingness to take the hit to enjoy the shot on goal. Like he just knew he was going to cop it. Said, righto, this is the way we're going about it. There's just a great bit of courage about standing your ground, taking a hit for your side while you have a shot. Fowden, who was terrific first quarter, committed himself. Hamblin upended him and recovered his footing much quicker. Very clever player, explosive pace, delivers it up to Stevens, who's finding plenty of the ball now and delivers it pretty well generally. The kick was fairly good towards Arnott, but Davis at the back door goes over the top. He was held. Play on, says the umpire. Bamford left it behind, and Sutherland streams out with it, gives it off to Cameron Roberts, who's forced onto the left boot. Towards centre half forward he goes, pushing and shoving. Jamar was there, couldn't quite get there. The back, good work, Hereda, over the top to Hopwood. Hopwood stands his ground. Roberts got him, just made a little bit of pressure work for him. Wintle dragged out of the contest. Here's Slade, never misses, and 10 was Broad. Good first, second and third efforts. Delivers it out to Bamford. In turn, the runner is Cook. Now this is where North Adelaide just need a finisher. Hay gathers it in. The kick from Cook was poor into space. Wakeland missed it. Clever work delivering it out. Kurzel, is it? Kurzel, who has also been good in Quentin Graham to the line. There's a lot of those North Adelaide players look alike, Tim. Kurzel, Newbury.
They got the same hairdo, haven't they? They've been the same hairdresser.
Ryan McGain.
They're in the same jumpers as well.
Comment Michael Parsons.
North, another opportunity. Balls forward, pocket, just tap back, nice little tap back. Wintle tries to get around his man, he can't, but gets the ball back eventually. Across the face of goal, Hargraves, opportunity, swings around, right foot, snap, misses everything, doesn't even get a score. Now it's backwards, started from that ruck contest. Arnold quickly hands it off to Slade. Slade eases the pressure, kicking it wide. Missed his target in Steinburner there in the long sleeves. Out of bounds, far side. 6 minutes gone in the second half.
That looks like a golf club on Steinburner, Tim.
It does, doesn't it? Look like
It's teeing off.
look like one of the baddies on the old Get Smart with the metal hand, I reckon. there.
Siegfried.
The claw. The claw.
That's it.
The ball, sorry, back into play. And working hard North again. Another opportunity to go into the forward 50. And they are working hard. Graham just pushed his man in the middle of the back, under the ball, and umpire won't let that play on.
Well, this is a good opportunity now for North Adelaide. That is a free kick, blatantly. And young Rivers up.
Yep, Jared Rivers, the young lad.
He's got to take advantage of this now because, again, some good hard work by North to keep it in their forward zone. I think Daryl Hart would be very pleased with the way they have worked to keep it in there. And now when you get an opportunity like this, you must finish it off. But his kicking style does bother us up here in the commentary box. Let's just see if he can convert. It'd be great for the kid and for North.
Just that he drops it from a high position, Tim, that's all. They'll work on that.
He'll want to get over this one. Comes in, lays it back, and end over end. An absolute mongrel punt. Just touched, was it? Umpire seemed to be confused. In the end, it's out of bounds on the full, I think.
You watch the way he dropped it. He almost pushed it end on end before he got it to his boot. He really has to work on that because that's a vital miss.
It is to Steinburner with the glove. Oh. Michael Jackson of the Bulldogs footy team. To Arnold, who just took his line and made sure he stayed on it. Did it pretty well. Hamblin comes in board. James Gowans through centre half forward, push and shove contest. Ebel, McArdle. And at the back, it's Viney. Davis.
Kick it.
Well, he needs to get rid of it and quickly. Tackled. Loose ball falls away. Well done with Sutherland. Bamford. Time for a bounce with a wet ball and wet ground and just brought himself unstuck under great pressure from Marco Bello.
Yeah, it just took too long, I reckon, in the end.
Tell us about this kick, Tim.
Just have a look at this. He'll almost push it.
This is Rivers' kick.
See how far he dropped it from, and then both hands came off the football at once, and it was always going to go end on end.
But he learnt to do that in Port Augusta. I think that's where he's originally from. So they need to get a manual up there, David.
Okay, memo. Port Augusta Footy Club teach the kid to kick. Sacred Heart, we better get the coach out there. And Daryl Hart's on the job too, Tim.
With all those people, I'm sure he'll turn it around.
Well, he looks pretty good as a footballer. One thing you can't teach a footballer is to find the ball.
That's
and he
true.
does that beautifully.
Good point.
That was good delivery, wasn't it, from Wintle? And Roberts takes the mark.
Quick.
Well, he took just a little bit too long, didn't he, Tim? As a result, Central's flood back, or at least man-on-man back there. Hate to mention the word flood. It seems to be the word of the moment. Jamal misses a slap forward. Cook doesn't miss with a kick. It's out in front of Hargraves. Opportunity one-on-one. Opposed to Geister. Geister at the back worries him out of it. Knocks it free. Gets a foot to the ball. Well done in defence, Geister. Now, just out of bounds it goes before Hargraves can pick it up. And that was well done by Geister. Opposed to two players, effectively, in the end there, but managed to get it out of bounds.
It was good work, but just looking at Hargraves there, I think he's got to work at ground level a bit harder at training, perhaps just below his knee. He's good in the air and kicks well for goal, but just in one-on-one contests like that, it's good if you can have a full forward that can win those.
Ugly ruck contest. Results in Kurzel running the ball out of play. The Centrals, just see Alistair Clarkson's head popping forward there.
Scotty Lee to his right. And Simon Lures this side of the coach's box. So some fair amount of experience, Crossy, in the coach's box with the Bulldogs. And there's the North Adelaide bench as we go down to Michael Parsons.
Yes, you see the lads there all pretty keen to get in amongst it. Broadhurst, McGahey and Michael Burford.
Thanks, Michael. Cook, slick work. Around the corner was McGahey, but Bello gets it. 44 was Newberry. Tried to keep it in play, but couldn't. And Hayes been pretty good today on screen for the Bulldogs.
Had some work back there, haven't they? Because North Adelaide have had some thrusts again this term. They haven't got any results yet.
And Ian Mogridge, our stats man, might be able to tell us the last time that Central District scored, Moggy.
Central's last quarter is 17 minutes into the second quarter, so that's 22 minutes of footy ago.
So Mogridge, our stats man, is Foden. turns it around the corner at a little bit of space. Big fly was up. Hargraves couldn't bring the ball down. Newbury was good at ground level. Ebert, now like Ebert, tough as you come, doesn't deviate on his line. And that time he carried the ball across the line.
Good to see Josh Newbury again, front and centre, crumbing.
So it's a stalemate somewhat at the moment. And North Adelaide really need to capitalise on the opportunities they've had inside 50. The ball comes clear, and they won't capitalise this time because Centrals are away. Wakeland turns inside, chips it over the top, backing back with Steinburner. He's got a player running for him in Stevens. Stevens belts it long. That favours McArdle, backs back. Well, Ebel just did enough. Hand passes away. Sutherland, far side of the ground now. Foden. Looks like Foden's gone back in defence. Ebel now. Hand passes wide. Well, chip, and he's almost, well, he's missed his target. Turnover on the wing. Arnott gives it inside to Hamblin. Kicks it inside 50. Leading back. Kick. Great kick. And Gowans will stroll into open goal, James Gowans. And that just is his first, and it just eases the pressure on Central. And that's hard luck for North Adelaide. They battled so hard, Tim, and now they concede a goal.
You must get your results when you're up there, and they didn't. And that kick was terrible. It just turned the whole thing around. And probably Central's got the goal that they should have got a couple of minutes early when McArdle had their chance, and that was a great kick. Beyond doubt, James Gowans open goal, but you're right, North Adelaide, they worked it out, just turned it over on that last movement, cost them dearly.
Jamar from the right, opposed to Arnold from the left. Jamar it was who won the tap down. McGowan flicks it out, cleverly done. Running from defence, Hamblin through half forward. This is where the North Adelaide side just need to start gathering some run, flicking out like Ebert did on that occasion. Roberts in turn. But where are the runners? Uni into space. The Bulldog pressure's just been terrific. Stevens over the top, but couldn't get it clear. Jamar, clever work, Shane Broad, into a little bit of space, and Bamford marks just inside the line. Now, I need the movement to be quick, and plenty of movement up forward. Riley went deep into the pocket, but the ball is squared up towards the centre forward position. Up went Fowden, came down without the ball. James Gowans just grubbers one out. Steinburner off to Arnold.
Well,
great desperation. Who was that, Uni? No, it was Broad. Was it? And cleverly away Bamford. High ball, and Hargraves has got it. What good desperation at centre half forward. Caused the turnover, and Hargraves marks about 20 metres out directly in front.
Well, you called it correctly first time. Uni just got a hand to Arnold as he was trying to get away. That was brilliant. Got a little give to Bamford. He just went long to the square. Again, Hargraves is dangerous up there if you get it up there early. And that was really good work at centre half forward. Get the goal and reward Uni.
And that was good spirit too, because they all went to Uni, slapped him on the back for his effort.
40 goals, 17 for the year. 5-2 against Port. And last time these two sides met, he kicked 4 goals too. He was pretty deadly, Hargraves. And today he's kicked 4, so he takes his tally to the season for 41. Dead-eye Dick, Hargraves gets his 4th.
Well, that was superb work, wasn't it? Again, North Adelaide, you know, they run the ball out of defence fairly well, just at times overuse it a little bit, but at that occasion, that was Uni's desperation. It was a good kick by Bamford originally. He ran up also to back up his own work. Gazelle in there, all of them trying hard, but that was just superb individual effort by Uni. Well done, Bamford, for following up your own work and then getting it long to Hargraves.
Tim, I just support your comment. I think occasionally the guys coming off the half-back line for North Adelaide are not recognising when they're free, overusing with the hand rather than going a little bit longer with the foot.
Well, Wintle distributes it to Bamford. He knows to go long. He does. Unfortunately, all of his players were worked under the ball, and Broad's given away, what would that be, a 25-metre free kick, as well as the mark with Geister now advantaged by that. Takes it off the left leg, goes wide. He's got a player running out there in Wakeland. Just takes his time, runs it into 50, puts it up high, and Davis leads his man to the ball, just couldn't take it. Central sit forward to the play with Slade, and now Slade puts it up in the air, backing back Chris Gowans, couldn't get the mark, but he'll get the hand pass in the end, and Gowans round the corner, and he's slotted home. Another goal for Centrals, and he's got a handful. He's got 5.
That's a superb goal in the end. They had to work hard for it because there was some great pressure. Daniel Ebert jumping across. That was where the first mistake was made. That mark had to be taken to relieve the pressure, but then it was put him under the hammer. This kick from Slade wasn't great. You watch the effort here by Ebert just to get a hand to it. That was superb. And then Arnott, McGowan, he must have had nearly 35 already. He's amazing, isn't he? Round the body, Gowan, superb goal.
9 kicks, 18 handballs to McGowan. So you're right, he's 27 possessions. Not far off 30, Tim. Arnott, McGowan, and the work was slick. As we go back to the centre, and it's 72 to 51. 21 points the margin. Getting it forward was Glashenko. And look at this. Bamford's coming into the game. Turns it around the corner, into a little bit of space, pushing sharp. Over the back it goes for a point.
A little bit of action down on the boundary line. McGahey comes on for Broad for North Adelaide. Central Districts roll their pre-programmed 15-minute interchange of rucks off the bench, and also Bevis comes on for Steinberner.
Michael Broad didn't come off because of that indiscretion, did he, the 25-metre?
I'm not sure of the reasons, but he finds himself warming up the pine.
Well, Central's a quick incursion into the forward 50 from that kick in. Didn't quite appreciate what was happening from goal umpire Cam there, but Central's employed the huddle because North Adelaide decided to go man on man, and as a result there were plenty of players able to find some space. And now we've got the ball on the wing again from that errant kick. It's Hopwood in the middle of the ground. 20 points to lead for Centrals. 17 minutes into the third term. Stevens hand passes to Wakeland, fires one in high. Davis will fly from behind, but in front taking a nice mark.
Jamar's got good hands, really has got good hands, impressive.
Fowden, who's gone back into defence after playing the first half in attack, comes wide. Robertson
Take the mark,
worked his man under the ball very well. Hereda will concede, surely he'll concede a 25-metre free kick. No, says Tim Pfeiffer, just pulls him back to where the mark was taken.
That's because Tim Pfeiffer called play on initially, then blew the whistle.
Tim Cook now with the ball. Feigns the hand pass and then kicks it over the top. Running, doing well. And earning a free kick in the end was Newberry. So Newberry gets up, just scratches the ear.
He's been good today. I reckon he's won his position.
Go inside. Hargraves calls for it long. Now he sits under the ball. The Central's defenders come over the top though and belt it towards the boundary. That will be a free kick too as well. Quinton Graham coming into the back of his opponent. Rivers, the youngster Jared Rivers. So
any money for the goal?
Yeah, well, it'll test his kicking style again, won't it, Michael?
You've been way too hard. This kid's 16 and a half years of age. There's a lot to learn about footy.
No, you're right.
Actually,
You said that you can't, teach somebody to find the football. He can find it.
He finds it all the time.
Just sits it up in front of goal. The big fish came there from Geister. Now on the ground. Well, in the end, out of the middle of the pack, it's a goal, is it? Well, it is. Kurzel. A great little snap from Nick Kurzel. And I wasn't sure. You just couldn't tell from the way the goal umpire was looking at it.
Well, two probably 17-year-old kids involved in that piece of play. One was Rivers. Sensible kick in the end just to get it to the top of the square. There was a lot of numbers there. Cook, Hargraves. Look at him, just stole the ball off of the Central's players and snapped it truly for a goal. A great goal, just edges them a little bit closer now. They're really in this contest.
Well, there's 16 or 17-year-olds, Rivers, Kurzel and Jamar, and they're all making an impact for the Roosters. A 14-point margin at the 20-minute mark of the third term. James Gowans goes towards centre half forward. Here comes McGowan. Committed himself to the contest beautifully. Bello gave it out to Chris Gowans. James Gowans thumped it further afield. Bello comes again. Sutherland in pursuit of it. Couldn't get boot the ball.
Back up.
Back they come. Well done on that occasion was Glashenko, Ebert, Sutherland, Ebert, Bamford. Now that's slick work. They're hitting the targets now, North Adelaide, and it's working for them. Hopwood missed it. Wakeland stands and delivers. Into the corridor he comes. Can North Adelaide take it and charge away? Jamar needed to come hard. McKinnon was taken high and the umpire blew the whistle. Oh! And Arnott tried to dish one out. The biscuit. But the whistle had blown and Fowden So McKinnon takes the benefit of the free kick. Delivers it wide into the pocket. It goes.
Well done,
Off
Viney.
goes Newbury. Well done, Viney. You're quite right, Tim. Now's Cook. A long ball to a one-on-one contest. Hay. Oh, that's a free. No question.
That is very good work by that
Kersel.
young man.
Well, he
Superb body work.
kid from Blackfriars, started his career with the Fitzroy Football Club locally here in South Australia. Goes toward Hargraves. The kick was good. Whittle held his line over the top of it. Gets it back. Got one high and a free kick. So it's starting to work. North Adelaide have lifted their intensity and Centrals aren't playing the percentages.
Now, the great thing is they're doing some really good things under pressure.
Wintle, short, Cook.
Kick one from here before.
Yeah, he did.
Well, we talked about Tim Kick in his career, early in his career, and the criticism was he couldn't kick far enough to make this kick, and he couldn't kick accurately enough. And here's a fellow, you talk about young Jared Rivers. This kid's worked on his kicking, worked on his kicking, worked on his kicking. Now he's gone from early in his career one of the worst kicks to one of the best kicks. With a wet ball, tired legs and 45 out. He goes long to goal and a lob right on the line, and it's a mark to Hargraves. He's kicked 4 goals, 1 already, the big fellow. And from point blank range, he gets another chance for a 5th.
Now, let's presume that he converts because he's right on the line.
14 points. It's back to 8 points.
It's,
Well, there is Tim.
he's kicked it.
Hypothesised. They're 8 points down and starting to run.
This is fantastic stuff. It's all starting with a real commitment and a real belief in one another that they can win.
A lot of the drive from Tim Cook in this quarter. He's had 9 kicks and 2 handballs.
Ian Moggridge, our stats man, just commenting. 9 kicks, 2 handballs from Moggy.
Look at the goal umpire cam there showing that Hargraves mark just inside the line. Had a little bit too much room for mine. If I was coaching Centrals, I'd have had a go at my defender saying, listen, you can't let him have a run at the football.
You can hear a couple of approaches coming your way, Tim. As Jamar from the right posed to Gowans. It was Gowans who thumped it down, Cowan rather. Slade couldn't quite control the contest. Arnott turns it around the corner into a little bit of space, crashing through Sutherland. Streaks downfield, forced onto the left, goes towards centre half forward. 3-on-1 in the contest. Hay couldn't quite take it. McKinnon dishes it out the back door. Arnott, now Wakeland, the experience combines. Forced it wide to Bevis, who is being tracked by Newbury. Bevis turns it onto the left, but into a little bit of space. McGowan was the target, but good enough was Glashenko. This is Travis Glashenko. Had a year last year with Essendon in the VFL. Came from Keilor. And in his first year with the Roosters. Bevis, claimed by Uni. Throw from Cook. Didn't matter, the umpire didn't see it. 24 was Roberts. Goes wide and out of bounds on the full. We're 24 minutes into the 3rd term, and it's an 8-point game if you've just joined us. Central District led by 16 points at half-time, and North Adelaide have reeled them in.
Sam McArdle comes off. I don't think he's caused the statistician to wear out his pencil, replaced by Bowen Lockwood.
Centrals just trying to swap sides of the ground. Arnott gets on the end of that pass, and now Lockwood short. Not much in front of him, though. Just an 8-point margin. Central's under pressure, and the crowd's starting to realise this is a struggle for the home team. Davis, good mark in the middle. Feeds it off quickly. Foden, here's a long kick, and he kicks long. But he's kicked to all doggies. Cowan comes free. The ruckman, he kicks long as well. Davis put up the one arm, couldn't pull it in. Graham desperate, but in the end it'll be tied up. Umpire asked to make a decision, says, no, I'll have it, thank you very much. Just a little bit of a scrap in there. Eventually Ryan Viney will get back to his feet. The umpire just decides to throw the ball up. Continue on, boys. In the end, the pressure too much. The ball stays in tight. So 25 minutes plus and 8 points the difference. North giving Centrals a real run for their money. Without a win this season, North Adelaide. And the umpire's picked out a free kick.
It's going to be interesting the next 3 minutes.
On the wing, it's Abel. He's done pretty well at centre back.
Good player and, you know, cleaned up McArdle. Now he's got Lockwood, so he's done a fantastic job back there.
Wintle. Short again and running. Ebert gets it inside 50. Good disposal.
Yes,
Mark pulls down the mark. Well done. I was going to say just couldn't quite get it, Heath Uni, but he's pulled down the mark.
Well, he's been part of the spirit of this North Adelaide side today, hasn't he, with his work rate? Some of his efforts have been superb.
Uni, he'll kick from just outside 50. And it'll be a very good kick to make the distance. It slides away to the right. High flyers are there. Is it a mark? No. Call play on. Hargraves wanted the mark. In the end, the umpire will have a bounce.
Again, just the Central's defenders are just allowing Hargraves a little bit too much room.
James Gowan takes a break. Steinburner back into the fray.
Cardle on screen. And that one pushed to the line. We're 27 minutes into the third quarter. Jared Rivers just forced it. There is the Bulldogs lineup. It has Lockwood at full forward. As Jamar and Cowan go at it, the big fellows. Jamar it was who won it down at the back. McKinnon dishes it out to Arnott, who's finding plenty of the ball. Turns it around the corner in a little bit of space. Steinburner releases Marco Bello. Through the midfield he comes, and look at it, it's a charge. Deep forward, Graham. Well done, Bowen Lockwood. That was a mark, no it wasn't. Steinburner runs in the open goal, gets put the ball in a goal. He just got there, tackle, and what does the umpire say? Well, Timmy, he said that he dropped the ball, but he got boot to ball. That's all he had to do, surely.
If you want to comment from the boundary line, there's a couple of people behind me with Central scarves on that have got a couple.
I wouldn't be giving them a microphone. Well, what about this, Tim? Walk us through this. Evil did very well, and he got boot the ball.
It's a goal.
It's a goal.
Well, not according to the umpires, apparently.
And Steinburner is not happy as he talks to umpire Darrell Ryan. And the Bulldog fans are incensed. They thought they were robbed of a goal. 72 plays 64. It's an 8-point ball game at three-quarter time, Tim, and you sense that North Adelaide might have enough in the tin to mount a challenge in the final quarter. As we start the final term with umpire Tim Pfeiffer holding the ball in the air. He'll throw it up. Arnold will come in from the right. Young 17-year-old Mark Jamar from the left. It was Arnold who gets the ball down. Slade, whose form has been very impressive the last 3 or 4 weeks, gets the ball forward and comes at it again. Second effort was terrific. He wins himself a free kick for a push in the back. The first thrust, you've got to say, has got to be very important for both sides. And Slade's won 2 possessions in the space of 10 seconds. Lockwood had the ball thumped away from him. Viney had the ball stolen away from him by McGowan, who paddles it forward. Now it's Quentin Graham looking for support. Doesn't get in. He turns it around the corner. A high ball. One-on-one in the contest. Who's there? Davis for North Adelaide. Couldn't quite gather it in. Sleeper hold on Gowans. Does he get the free? No, he doesn't, says the umpire. Evil gets the benefit of the doubt. There'll be a bounce.
Yeah, the tackle just slipped up a little bit high there, and the umpire did give him the benefit of the doubt.
Throws it up in the air. Loose ball falls. Gowans gets it out. Bello off the ground, tried to kicking in danger, said the umpire. And Sutherland will take the free kick.
No, fair decision. Hands are right over the top, Davis, and he deserved it.
So Davis delivers into a little bit of space. There were 3 North Adelaide players there. They're dog-tired, Tim. Actually, I thought at three-quarter time they had enough in the tank, but they looked very, very tired right then.
They did then, but a quick goal might get them going again, David.
As we go down to Michael Parsons with the Central District bench.
Yes, you see Sam McArdle there. I just said they were looking for a big effort. Well, he'll have to save that one up until he gets back on. Luke Cowan and Simon Arnott, who's played a pretty good game, sitting down to start with.
Yeah, that'll be part of the rotation of the midfield with the Gowans brothers.
So Jamar with a free kick. Just kicks it along. Foden up in front. It comes to the back. Steinburner across to Hamblin. He scrambles that ball forward, not very effectively, but nevertheless it did get there. Wakeland, nobody really has an option up forward. Somehow he got it forward, and Arnold in the end has just missed with the shot on goal.
Well, the Centrals would have loved that one early, just to get it on the board and steady the ship a little bit, because they have been under the pump in the last term.
It's a
Good work here.
It's a real contrast. The third term started exactly the opposite. North Adelaide really laid siege to the Central's goals. So Central's kicking the ball, or rather North kicking the ball back in. Hamblin comes clear,
Look at this.
and great targeting. Gowan's a chance for his sixth.
Just a real intelligent kick. Know that, you know, pack situation, I've got to get it back into that keyway.
In space.
And your forwards are in front. This guy's had a day out.
So Chris Gowans lining up after goal number 6. The umpire slides across. The reaction from the behind the goal is not very positive, and it was a minor score.
First miss, you know. He's kicked 5 straight before that.
Well, that was one that they really needed. He's been superb today, but that one missed by a long way, according to goal camp.
Opportunity now for a little bit of movement forward. Right, Newbury, Cook, turning it around the corner. Tim Cook's played out here plenty of times.
Oh,
what a
great
great commitment that was. This is Glashenko, who's been very, very impressive today.
He's your boy, yeah?
Yep. 13 and 6 for him, so he's finding plenty of the ball. Davis is growing in stature with every quarter, and Wintle is finding plenty of the ball. He's back to his best form of 2 years ago, and Hargraves is marked. No, he hasn't, says the umpire. McKinnon dishes it out to Hay, and across the line it goes under pressure from young Jared Rivers, the 16-year-old, who has been very, very impressive on debut today.
It was good. He effectively took on 2 players then, didn't he? And just got the hand there, got the 50-50 contest back for North Adelaide.
Impressed with their want and their desire to compete. It's been good from the young ones.
Well, Rivers has only had, this is his 3rd game, fellas, so he's a rookie. He's not on debut, he's a rookie. But I couldn't think of a kid who's been much more impressive as the ball comes back and it's hit the post.
What a superb effort.
It was Hargraves.
That's where the goals are.
Just have a look at this. Crashing in was young.
No, it was Cook.
Got it onto his boot. He just hit it, yeah.
He kicked one goal 3, Cookie, today.
Well, the huddle was on again, and, well, that surely was a free kick. Maybe not. Slade gets the ball forward, and a mark, and Gowans collects him late. Umpire Tim Pfeiffer comes in.
Made him earn it, didn't he?
Yeah,
Made him earn it.
Sutherland, the captain, with the mark, said. So the ball kicked long. Up in the middle was Jamar. His opponent in Arnold takes it. A couple of sweeping hand passes. James Gowans kicks it up in half forward. Quentin Graham from behind. Got a leap, couldn't take the ball. Emerging, though, with the ball. Bevis was it, got it forward. And even more importantly, Lockwood took the mark.
1 goal, 1 for him today. He hit the post once, didn't he?
That's a good early jump, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Let's just have a look at it. We can get it on screen there. Davis didn't try to take one of his arms. I reckon when you're just a little bit behind, try and take one of the arms away. You can't mark with one hand.
Bowen Lockwood. Studded in. Kicked truly, though. And that's all you want. And Centrals have their 12th on the board.
Well,
I agree with you, Tim, about trying to take his arm, but I think Lockwood was just too good then. He just jumped too early, and Davis really wasn't ready to fly with him. Just got beaten by a better player right then.
Great crumbing by Bevis. He got around the front of the pack, swung it around, and a good early jump. He's right. Won the contest hands down, Lockwood, and got the goal that they really needed. That first 6 minutes been all Centrals.
So the margin blows out to 15 points as Jamar thumps it down. Wintle gathered it in, but he couldn't get clear with the ball. And umpire Darragh Ryan will bounce.
And for the very, very first time today, there's the chant of Central starting to emerge from this crowd at the Ponderosa.
Been a big plus for them out here. McGahey had the kick smothered. Well done, Hamblin. McGowan to Hereda, and deep in the pockets, Lockwood again. Big fly. Couldn't quite bring it down. Play on, says the umpire. Quentin Graham got himself through traffic beautifully. Kicked it to himself and paddled it down, so he's doing everything. Beavis. And on the left boot, Bello lost his footing behind play. allows the opportunity for Viney to mark deep in defence for the Roosters.
Viney comes this side of the ground. He's got Big Jamar opposed to Arnold, and the umpire pulls out a free kick in favour of Jamar, the youngster.
Been pretty impressive, Crossy, hasn't he?
He has been. It's a goal, which was a sensational mark across the front of the pack. This time, the kick out of bounds in the end, just forced across the line. The target was Fowden.
I'd like to really keep an eye on his development, I reckon, Jamar. I really like the look of him.
I tell you what we missed, which is a highlight. It was his first goal in league footy after 10 games. So he hasn't got near the goals prior to this.
Well, a lot of pressure there, and in the end, Gowan's virtually surrendering, James Gowans. Another bounce down, or at least a throw up. There's been a lot of the ball being thrown in the air.
Good effort.
Just hacked off the ground, forward. No, Roberts, was it? Just hacked it forward for North Adelaide. Gained his side 30-odd metres. Sklashenko, in fact. The man on screen, number 26. Just a bit of a plug on the nose there. Keep it from bleeding. 15 points to margin, 8 minutes in, final term. And the Premiers have been really challenged by the bottom side this afternoon. It's been an engrossing contest.
It's been fantastic, really. Conditions, would allow for a lot more errors, and I reckon the skill level's been reasonable.
In ruck, Fowden it was from behind who thumped it down. Newbury couldn't get clear. Bamford dishes out a long handball. Viney, clever slick work to Cook. It was a little slicker. Bamford tried to come in. Norwood got him. Holding the ball, no. The umpire said it came out on the tackle. He'll pay the benefit, and the ball will be thrown in. Listen to these Bulldog fans.
I reckon there's some danger that these umpires getting off the ground, win, lose or draw for Centrals.
Just a great movement, but Bamford just sold I reckon he sold the dodge a little bit early. Great tackle by Hopwood.
Wasn't it? Uni, Wintle gets through traffic, gets it away. Uni recovers, comes inside 15, goes long. This will be a team lifting goal, and Uni's kicked it. Oh, that's a big one. Now they trail by 9 points, and the Bulldogs are still in control, but North Adelaide are mounting a challenge.
Gee, I'm impressed with this bloke. His work rate's been superb. If the ball's around him or anywhere near him, he wants to be involved. And Daryl Wintle again. Well, that was superb. He just grabbed it and then carved up a hole through 3 or 4 players and just drove straight at goal and never looked like missing.
Heavy ball from 48 metres.
Great kick.
Not a bad kick either, was it?
Michael Burford coming back on for North Adelaide after Jamar has put in a good effort.
Well, North Adelaide over the ball again. Wintle, his arm was pinned, you saw that, and as a result, he just could not get rid of it. Briggy McGowan will be rewarded for that tackle.
His direct opponent, I'll tell you what, it's been like the old days. 2 centremen, just having an enormous amount of touches, having a shootout. It's been fantastic today, them two.
The ball up forward again. Davis did well to punch it away, but Chris Gowans gets on the end of it. And, well, the mark spilled by Cameron Roberts. Now he's under pressure. Glashenko again. Sorry, made that mistake before. In any case, the umpires let it go on. Eventually, they'd probably be advised to rush it, but instead, it's kicked out. And Scott Sutherland takes the mark.
Kurzel was the kid who got it out.
That was good under pressure,
and
wasn't it?
very calm under fire. Yep, it's a good sign.
Come along the half-forward flank. Hereda, too much experience. That was Roberts, who forced under the ball. As a result, Central's another forward excursion, and Graham came from behind. Now he's got it on the ground, and he's in trouble.
He's gone.
Well, umpire says no.
He couldn't see, obviously. Yeah, because he didn't want to get it out.
It's 9 points to the margin. Gowans in there, working hard. Eventually, it comes out to McGowan off the left leg. Turns it around, close, touched on the line by the North Adelaide skipper. And Scott Sutherland did well.
You gentlemen up there in that nice, warm commentary box would be interested to know that the rain is starting to come down.
We've earned the right to be up here, Michael.
And who said we were interested?
And who said we weren't interested? And if you're at home, I think you'll be enjoying this. We're 11 and a half minutes into the final term. 10-point ball game, North Adelaide mounting a challenge, and last year's Premier's really under the pump to hold off the side that's sitting on the bottom. Wintle to Kurzel, who's been very impressive. We've said that a number of times. Caught underneath that Roberts, but Hereda at the back. He's done his job today, Tim.
He certainly has.
Very, very solid. So too's Hopwood running and exploding off the half-back line. He's delivered the ball forward plenty of times. Davis in front's been a great battle with Lockwood. Lockwood wrestles the ball out of Davis's control, squeezes it out. Sutherland dives on top of it, but he gave it up too easily. Arnold turns it around the corner with a long floating handball, and Stevens one step goes for goal. It's coming back, but not far enough. And a point the result. And it's an 11-point ball game. Stevens with 14 possession has kicked 1 goal, 2 for the afternoon.
Some good work there by Stevens. Nearly snuck it through, but just get the feeling the Doggy fans would be happy if they were 13 points up. Just that little bit above 2 goal.
Lockwood's been looking impressive the last couple of entries for the Central Districts team.
Stevens and finishes the job. Made it hard work for himself. In the end, he just chipped that pass across to Nathan Steinburner.
Now, what is that glove, Crossy?
I think actually it's not a golf glove. It is one of the authentic gloves. There's not many players wear them these days. They were big about, what, 4 or 5 years ago.
Gary
Everybody
Ablett,
had them.
Gary Ablett made them popular initially.
Steinburner, and this will give Centrals just a little bit of relief. Or will it? He's missed. Nathan Steinburner back after a dislocated elbow in round 6 against Port Adelaide. And just couldn't finish the job there. The margin, though, is 2 goals.
8 points the margin as Ebert brings it back into play for the Roosters. Up and down was Evil. He has been good today, Tim.
Yeah, I like him.
One of their better players, no question. Delivers it far to the outer side. Fowden was up. Wakeland from behind. Time to run beautifully. Beavis off the ground. And here's Chris Gowns to James. Look for Stevens, but Stevens had just run onto the ball. And Ebert was very, very good. Chips it up over the top. That was just particularly clever. And Glashenko marks. Called to play on. Ebert runs on.
Well
The others in the ball. I really like Ebert's game.
Yep.
He has been tough and hard. Well done, Bamford to Sutherland. The skipper's got it on the grandstand wing. Now, there's plenty of movement in the midfield. Where does he go?
No, he's ignoring.
Looks ahead, a little bit of space, and over the top it goes. And the mark's been taken by Newbury. So Josh, who's kicked 1 today, after 4 last week, and he's in a purple patch of form. Big fly, McKinnon thumped it down. Uni, you're right, Tim, he just loves getting involved. Dishes out the handball. Kurzel came inboard, couldn't find the target. We are 14 and a half minutes into the final term, and we're down to 8 points the margin.
Just here now, getting a little bit tired, getting a little bit sloppy. Just got to concentrate. Make sure when you get the ball, you use it, your skills are up, and your tackles don't go high. Just keep down and low, and just keep concentrating both sides, because it is a little bit of a tiring point of the game, but it's a desperate point of the game.
Let me just qualify. That's 12 points the margin, Crossy. My maths is as bad as anybody's.
Oh, don't worry, I'm up there with you. So it's 2 straight kicks North Adelaide needs.
Good give.
And a good give back, but the smother was on Uni's kick. Winkles over the ball again, and just content, really, I think, to see that across the line, because it wasn't an option when he looked up.
That give, Crossy, was Kurzel again.
Clever and a great smother off the boot and tackle by James Gowns.
Oh, Wintle tries to come from behind the little man. Can't get it forward. Scoop and kick by Stevens. Sutherland looked to have manhandled his man. In the end, he gets back slammed. And eventually it's out of bounds again. This is a tight contest. It's warming up, let me tell you. It might be cool out there, but the spectators very much enjoying this one. Have a look at, well, couldn't be blamed for thinking that was a...
This is great from Scotty Sutherland. Look at that. Didn't lose the ball going to the ground and still had time to get up and look for somebody.
And now a free kick to delight the Centrals crowd. And Hopwood, well, he was about to off and run. Instead, gave it back to Steinburner, chips it up in front of Hamblin. Hamblin's got a lot of space in front of him and not many opponents. And Lockwood's on the lead and takes the mark. So they moved it well from that sort of situation. And Lockwood will line up for his second.
No, third. It's kick 2.
Third, sorry. Yep, thanks, David.
Yeah, he looked good then. Great movement. Started from the wing position all the way down.
It's a long run up really for Lockwood. Comes in from outside 50, he'll probably kick from maybe 40. Steadies up, kicks through the ball. Result is perfect. And that is his third. And 3 goals is the margin.
Well, we did feel that Central's probably with their senior blokes and experience now and premiership under their belt, that they would just steady the ship and do the right things at the right time, and that's probably what they've done. In the end, they're going to do just enough to have a victory, but North Adelaide, full credit to their efforts today. They've made a real contest of everything and haven't made it easy for Centrals. Have really had to work for this victory.
Jamar comes back on for North Adelaide. Michael Burford sits down, so that's a couple of points from the coach Dale Hart to Jamar, who's given him preference for this critical last 15 minutes.
18 points, the margin. Cowan thumps it down. Broad had the kick smothered, but recovering the ball was Newbury. Strides through the middle and delivers it long and high towards full forward. Hay was underneath it. So too Geister and Hargraves. The ball flicks out the back door to Wakelin, who delivers it in turn to Hereda, who's just been terrific.
He has, hasn't he?
Just been
Solid.
cool and calm, and solid's probably the word, Tim. Slade, I like him. He's matured as a footballer, 40 games under his belt, and he looks a hard unit now. Hereda, solid. Dead right. Hay towards half forward, Quentin Graham. Well, he's lively, this fellow.
It's been a good move, hasn't it? Throwing him up forward, because he's one of those guys that can create things out of nothing.
Takes a couple of big flies. He's good when the ball hits the deck, and he's done it pretty well so far today. Delivers the ball towards Gowans. Beavis came in hard. Ebert, clever work. Davis delivers it out under plenty of pressure. There was that McGahey, wasn't it? And this is Newbury. Curzel strides away. Now that's better movement, North Adelaide. They're playing on it every opportunity. Sutherland from just outside 50. Delivers it far and wide underneath this one, Hargraves. Toe pokes it to himself, goes in, dives over the top, needs support, dishes out the handball. Good work, Jamar, gives it off to Jared Rivers. No, it's Curzel, and he's finished it off, the young man. So Nick Curzel finishes up so far with a couple of goals, one in the third and one in the fourth, and North Adelaide can't be shrugged off.
They cannot be shrugged off, can they? I mean, it's the 19-minute mark, and you'd expect that Centrals would have steadied up by now, but they just keep at it. Great work by Hargraves. You know, I said earlier he's got to work at ground level. He did it then. It was superb work, and I like Jamar. His hands are great for a big fella. He just doesn't panic. I would have liked him to look to Shepherd straight away, but that'll come into his game.
Curzel was confident, wasn't he? He'd only just put the ball in the boot straight away. It was the fist pump. I've got that one.
Good on him.
I think he's got a shoulder injury too. He's starting to find out what it's like to be hit by the men.
Bamford does well. In the end, Steinburner came clear. Well, whether or not it was a trip doesn't matter, because Central District has possession. Up at half forward. And a good effort from Viney from behind. Umpire said, well, I don't care who touched it. At the end of the day, I'm going to play it to Viney as a mark.
Tell you what, interesting one, that one. Let's have a look. Touch. Ah, good enough. Good decision.
Viney stays this side of the ground, and a lot of players there in that pack. Tim Cook's under it. Umpire says my ball. And the Gowans factor over the top again.
Early on, Central's dominated those close situations,
They
but
did.
North really worked themselves into it, didn't they?
Cowan up and down, thumps it down. Slade squeezed out a handball, stolen away by Chris Gowans, who delivers it wide to Arnott, whose first quarter was devastating. He kicked 3 in the first term, turns it around the corner now into a little bit of space for Stevens. Stevens off the ground, that's a miracle point. If that had been a goal, it was just incredible. He was a bit unlucky. It
It
just
was
went
quick
wrong.
thinking, wasn't it?
Very clever.
That's why I like him. He has got a football brain, and he can anticipate what's happening around him.
Slade off. Michael.
Yeah, he's hurt his leg. I'm not sure exactly where, but we'll catch up with that in the next couple of minutes. Marty McKinnon also coming off to make way for Sam McArdle.
Thanks, Mike, for that.
So the ball's at half forward for Centrals. We're into time on, so Team Centrals have this under control, you would think. But gee, North Adelaide will not lie down. They take the ball out the back and then sweep it to Sutherland. Sutherland got space in front of him. Bello chasing hard. Closes to within about 2 metres before Sutherland kicks it up to half forward. The ball comes over the back. They're running
hands.
again.
Oh, clever.
Curls over the top. Now running into open goal, Newbury. Ran his full distance and then some, did he? Missed anyway.
Yeah.
Right hand post.
I think he knew himself that he'd actually probably gone a bit far, so he rushed the kick, which ended up being sprayed. But Curzel again, great hands. Look at this. Played well, Josh Newbury. He's had a really good game.
So you just wonder if he'd kicked that and they'd got back within 7 points or so.
Yeah, Centrals have got that magic 13-point margin before that, so it's back to 2 goals straight.
Hopwood turns it forward. Bello underneath this one with that Cook thumb, difficult overhead. Crashing through was Hopwood. And the ball to the line. We are 22.5 minutes into the final term. 12 points the margin in favour of Central District. And there's still time, Tim, for North Adelaide to mount.
And just a quick update on Matthew Slade.
Thanks,
just coming off with cramp, so nothing serious there at all.
Thanks, Michael, for that. Jamar battles it down. James Gowans gives it off to his brother Chris. The handball went forward into a little bit of space. Great desperation. Wintle gathers the ball in, claimed, and the umpire says, you're coming in over bounce. Well, we promised you a red-hot last quarter, and it's certainly appearing to be that way now as Bello picks himself up off the ground. The umpire throws the ball in the air. Cowans and Jamar, it was Jamar who paddled it down. Bello was taken high, and the free kick will come back, much to the delight of the Central District fans.
Do you reckon they think they've been hardly done by?
Well, I think some of the fans, I spoke to them at half-time, thought they had Crossy.
Well, Graham, free on the far side, or at least in the middle in the corridor, gets it up forward. Ebert struggling hard, pulls McArdle down. Ball in dispute now. Wakeland just gets it into the path of Steinberner, uses the pace from 50 metres. Steinberner has kicked a goal! Oh, that's a great finish. And there's one fan who's particularly happy about it.
Well, it's finished off what's been a really tough afternoon for Centrals. They've had to really work for this victory, but it's been efforts like this in close by Michael Wakeland there. It just gets it out to Steinberner and finishes off and gets a goal that he probably should have had against his name a bit earlier. Great kick in the end. Great vision, goal umpire Cam.
Safely in their keeping. 24.5 minutes gone. And the margin's back out to 18 points. You'd have to say that the Bulldogs can hold on from here. Wintle to Bamford over the top. McGahey on the left, a high ball towards half forward. No one home for North Adelaide. Geister missed it comprehensively. At the back, Hargraves paddled it forward, but he got one for a push in the back, and he'll have a shot for goal from about 45 metres out, almost directly in front.
Oh, right him.
Yeah, definitely on the Hargraves Express there. That was in the back.
Now he's kicked 5 goals, 1, Daniel Hargraves, from 7 kicks, so, well, he's certainly done his job. Cook has a goal, Jamar has a goal, Heath Uni has a goal, and Nick Kurzel has a couple. Newbury has 1. So 6 on the board would be a fine return to the full forward, as it just drops short underneath this one. Jamar almost takes the mark, but off hands, it rolls across for a rush behind.
Yeah, he's disappointed with himself, and rightfully so. Bloke of his standard should have kicked that one easily and got his 6, but value for his touches, that's for sure today.
Well, another opportunity. Newbury comes back on 50, closes. Oh, that's a big kick. And, well, it might even be through. We'll wait on the goal umpire. It's a goal. Oh, that is a good finish.
Well, they are just pushing and pushing and pushing North Adelaide. They're going to go all the way to the end of the siren. They just will not put up the white flag. It's been very good. This guy's probably been one of their best, Newbury, along with guys like Sutherland and Wintle in the middle, and just been really good effort. Great kick this. Made up for the one he missed on the run earlier. Some bad work on the last line of defence there by Central too.
In ruck, Arnold it was who pushed the ball down, paddled out to the back door. Now, there's still enough time. We're 26 minutes gone as Gowan gives it up to Hopwood. Into a little bit of space, it's Marco Bello. Welcome back, Marco. That thumb's kept him out for a bit. Steinberner, who kicked the last goal for Central, streams in, closes on 50, goes long towards goal, but Edel underneath it marks. Well, he doesn't waste any time at all. Plays on quickly. Over the top it comes to Sutherland. Can he move it on? They trail by 11 points. They need the next goal, and they need it quickly. And then they need to get it back to the centre. Sutherland, forward. Arnold, 2 bites of the cherry. Chris Gowans dishes one out. Wakeland Harada, their defence has been pretty good. Hotwood's running hard in front of Uni and delivers it up. McCardle, who spent a lot of time on the bench, and is cold, just dropped it. Cook, they're streaming forward, North Adelaide. Can they take a mark and kick a goal? Underneath this one, Rivers couldn't quite get there. Great work, Harada and McGowan, and Geister was the man who combined. Thanks for that, fellas. And McCardle marks to the Bronx cheers of his own fans, and he delivers it forward. No mark taken. Ebert worked hard. Davis works even harder, but Stevens stripped the ball and will force a bounce, you'd suspect. No, the ball comes out the back. It's desperate days out there, as both teams believe that they can win this game, and the intensity really for the last 5 or so minutes has lifted. Ebel, the siren sounded, it's all over. 11 points and despair on Daryl Hart's face. They had their opportunities, North Adelaide, and the Bulldogs now face Sturt at Unley Oval next week. They've taken a win away today.